2, 1.
Hello, are we live?
У меня нет больше времени.
Okay, we are live. Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Mr. Mary. This is Half-Life Blue Shift. This is a game. Well, this is definitely a game. This is a let's say a mission pack DLC. You would say today for original Half-Life. It's based around it's based around the story of a security guard, just like this one. We are just like a security guard. His name is Calhoun. His last name at least. So I'll take some time to explain a couple things here because my estimate is I believe it's way higher than what I believe in myself I can do. So first of all, the frame cap. You can see in the top left corner that I have that my frame rate is wild, and that's because I don't have a frame cap on, and that's because I'm running on a Steam version of the Gold Source engine, which means there is no speed cap. For speedruns, as when you're running, for example, Half-Life on the 1 version, which is press team, you have to cap to 100. But I won't be doing that because I don't have to. But I will be changing my frame cap on specific occasions. Second of all, this game, because it's a Steam engine, it has a speed cap. So if I go anywhere between 540 units per second, I get brought down to a 300. So that's one thing. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And also, I am going to show you. So there's this big train ride in the beginning, but we are going to skip the end of it because you can like skip a map. I'm going to start with a. I'm going to start with a save that looks something like this, and I'll show you how do I get to there. So I drop my frames, clip out of the train. Bring the frames up. I follow the train a bit, and I go through this door, which has no collision, and I just chill here, and we are in the state. And also, poker gave you the comfort of choosing your language. You're not getting none of that with me. We are talking Russian today, comrades. Okay, so I'm pretty much ready to go. So I'll give you all. I'll give you all a countdown. Okay, so we are gonna start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Okay, so first of all, this is how we just came to work. We're just gonna go. We are clocking in, so just gonna take our armor and helmet. That's actually why you have to do the dance with the why you have to clip out of the train and enter this map a specific way, because if you just went into this map through a console command, you wouldn't be able to pick up the armor, which would result in a softlock. We are also going to get ourselves a gun, because if reasoning and scientific proof doesn't work, we need to use force. That's how it be in the science world. Okay, gonna drop my frames here so that this guy turns around faster. And we are going in full speed. Well, full speed. Basically, why we have the uncapped frame rate, sadly, it brings in the pay-to-win argument, because you can air accelerate faster with higher frame rate. You can press strafe to a higher speed. Well, you can get a higher speed with pre-strafing if you have a high frame rate. Basically, pre-strafing is like doing a strafe like so to initiate your jump, and having your speed from that pre-strafe come into your moving speed. Also, on behalf of NASA Marathon, I just wanted to say thank you to Riley, who's a good buddy of mine. Well, not a good. Well, he's a cool guy. That's what I wanted to say for that fat host. I appreciate that. Okay, so this is basically a segment before everything happens, like everything bad happens. This is just before Resonance Cascade, and why we came to those guys? Because we got a report that they got an elevator stuck. So of course we are the only person who is like who has the privilege of pressing buttons, because the scientists, they just do the science, we do the button pressing. Does old source have stack launches? No, that's first of all, that's gold source, but old source fits as well, I guess. Also, here's a 2-minute waiting segment, so I'll just talk about stuff here. Old source doesn't have stack launches, but it has, but of course, it has bunny hops, the good old bunny hops. It has pre-strafes. It has, well, it's not showcased in this one, but it has IHD. Which lets you have infinite health, but it's like a thing that's specific to Half-Life 1. We also have a thing where we can use a certain weapon to trigger, to activate triggers early, and that's going to come into play during the towards the ending bit of the run. Right now one thing, I have dropped my frames to 100 here, well, to 99. That's because gold source, like, Valve never knew how to program elevators correctly, so if your frame rate is too high in the elevator, one of the scientists, or even myself, can die. And that would be bad, because if I die, we have to load the save. If they die, it's counted as if we killed them, so we get a fail state. Remember to stay hydrated, buddies. Okay, now we can bring our frame rate up, because from now on we should be fine. I cannot guarantee that though, because elevators, they like to do a lot of nasty stuff in the Source games. Getting stuck in them is very common if you have a too high frame rate. Okay, so this is basically the Resonance Cascade has happened, and now as everyone, we are going to make our way out of the facility, and this is where the run opens up. Gonna go in here, destroy this box, which will break the powered lock which this door has. I'm gonna drop my frame rate here so I don't eat this chair. Wait to 4. Okay, that works. So yeah, I had to drop my frame rate there because depending on your frame rate, well, your frame rate influences the physics of the items you can push around. The higher frames you have, the more speed they can get. This can be used for something called object boosting, which is not viable on this engine because of the frame cap, the speed cap rather. Okay, now a little platforming segment. I'm gonna drop this. This should do. Okay, that should be fine. If you have watched any of the World Record runs, you'll see that they are doing some strats that I don't do. That's either because I cannot. They are way harder for me because of my lower frame rate, or because I don't like doing them. Like, this is still any percent. You can call it any percent with all the tricks I feel like doing if you want to see if I care. Anyway, here's a little. So here we are doing a little skip. Oh well, a little skip. We are skipping like half of this chapter. So I'll try to bounce off of this bit here, so that I can get to this part earlier. And now I'm gonna yeet this explosive box right into here, skipping like a good 3 minutes of the chapter. And we're out of the chapter. So now we are moving to Captive Freight, because apparently there's we will learn in a second from a guy that won't get to live too long that there is an effort to teleport out of the facility because the army is onto us. They are doing the military cleanup and stuff. Okay, so I'm just gonna try and drop to here, not die hopefully. Okay, nice, because there's a little body of water here, and literally any body of water will break any fall in this game. So yeah, now we are moving through this not exactly sewers. But, yeah, this is... Okay, so here's a little thing called sharking, where you hold space and strafe to gain speed while on top of water. Okay, so let's try this now. Come on. Basically, you can... jumping over this guy can be a bit tricky. It's definitely easier to do on a high frame rate because you can just glide along the walls. Also dropping my frame rate here because if I wouldn't, this elevator would be very likely to just come back down. Which is definitely not optimal. Okay, so here's a specific route I have to take to avoid being telefragged. Okay, that works. And also, I always get stopped by this little bit on here. Okay, so killing those guys, gonna... Okay, that works, nice. So now I'll be manipulating those head traps so that they will bite me, but they will not be in my way, which yeah, I can go around them like so, and if I didn't do that, I'd have to kill them and lose like 5 seconds per trap. Okay, so now the army comes in, so headshot there, take the guns, shoot the guy, go in here so that he goes to the side, kill him, and let's go. So that scientist was the one that told us about the teleported thingy. So now we have to find Dr. Rosenberg, who's supposed to be the lead project, but the army is keeping him hostage. I mean, not that, he's hiding from the army. So we are gonna do an ammo dupe where we save, and while someone's dropping grenades or any other ammo, we can save and load to restart that animation, including the drop. How did you survive, buddy? Buddy. Okay, that was a little suboptimal, if I do say so myself. Okay, nice. So here's the first scientist who is not Dr. Rosenberg. Not good for us, and not good for him either. Okay, so here I have to do this segment in a specific way so that I can save time. Okay, come on. Okay, nice. Okay, let's go. I wanted to take that safety armor, but that's out of the question now, I guess. So just gonna keep going. This is a scary moment because I am very low on H. This is way out of my comfort zone when it comes to the amount of HP, but we'll just have to deal. Go, buddy. Okay, that works. Okay, so now just gonna press those buttons because they are very important buttons. Gonna go in here. I am on 8 HP. This segment is very scary as of now. I'm sorry? What? I'm going to... Okay, loaded a safety. Okay, this basically, yeah, this is a benefit of the Steam version because it keeps one extra save, so that if you screw up like so, you can just go back. Oh. Okay, this is. Okay, this is. This is Monka S, as the kids say. I'm gonna do this once. What? Really? Okay. Oh, okay. This is okay. Screw it. I'm loading a safety save. This run is invalid now. No, that's one more. Okay, so now I'm gonna go from here. Yeah, so in this save you can see that I have way more HP, and that should be the optimal. That is a good amount to come in. I just hit it a little hard in the first segment. So yeah, we're gonna do the same exact thing, but now we can take a. I could have taken that armor, but yeah, that's what I get for not doing safety strats. Anyway. we're just gonna press this button. Okay. So now the sir. Okay, so again duping the ammo. Okay, that should be good. No. There should be one more guy. Yeah, there he is. There he be. Okay. Okay, that was awful. Just because of the fact that I had to invalidate the run. I mean, I could have kept. Okay, so I'm grazing against this. Okay, so I could have kept going, but that's all right as long as the run is still going. Like I could have sit and try and you know break out of the situation for like 3 minutes, but that's all right. Okay, so another waiting segment. Basically, I was sliding along the wall of that container to activate the trigger because there's the cutscene trigger extends a little bit outside of this container. So now Rosenberg is talking to us about how he was working on teleporter and whatnot, and you know all of that stuff. So we were taking our time. Where was the? I can't remember where were the grenades. Okay, so okay. Okay, let's do this. So here, so I just got this kill pretty quick. I'm gonna go in here. Hopefully figure out where the guy with the where was the guy with the grenades when I killed him. He was here, but what? I got scammed out of grenades. Come on. Anyway. Okay, so I just talked to Dr. Rosenberg through the wall, so he's coming out. So now is a segment where he's following us, and now I'm gonna try and do this in a single segment, like all of this. If I don't, that's okay. Okay, that should be fine. Okay, sir, Rosie, you coming? Buddy. Okay, let's go. Okay, so if we kill everyone in a single segment, like if we don't anyone surviving, Rosenberg will just come with us and not give a crap about corners. Because now we have to, because now he's going to take. Oh, I screwed up a little bit. Okay, so. He was just running to us at that point, but here he is going to take his sweet time, taking every turn he can while standing still, which is not very fast in general. There's a way to manipulate that, but it's pretty random in this bit. We'll do that we'll do another manipulation. We'll do a manip in a second, but for now we just need him to. Okay. So just gonna load them up here, gonna just go through here and let's see. Okay, okay, now it worked. Okay, so I manipulated him into running into this elevator, which skips a couple triggers because first he goes, "Oh, okay, I see you found the elevator," and then he stands in front of the elevator and starts talking about the project and stuff, which takes a little bit of time, so we can just throw a grenade at him so that he runs in. Okay, so now he has to open this, and I'll take a save because I'm not gonna spoil it just yet, but there's this thing that can happen if you screw up. Okay, it didn't happen. Basically, sometimes it's pretty random in my experience, but sometimes Rosenberg can despawn after he opens that door, effectively soft locking you. Yeah, this is an escort quest. Okay, so because I'm little low on the SMG grenade count, I'm gonna take the next bit a little slowly. Talking about slowly, here's a 2-minute expository cutscene. So that's fun. That's why so many people don't want to pick up Blue Shift on top of the speed cap and on top of the escort segments. So right now Rosenberg is explaining to us how there's all of this stuff that there's a teleporter, that this is a teleporter which is a separate thing to what people in Lambda Complex are doing. And also Lambda Complex people want to deal with the Lambda Complex people want to destroy whatever is running. Well, they want to kill the Nihilanth, who is the final boss in Half-Life 1. And Rosenberg just wants to get out of the facility, which I can get behind. But this is an older kind of teleport. So first someone, of course I mean we, because we are the one with the guns here. Speaking of which, I'll take my time to reload them. We are going to go into Zen and set up a satellite relay so that we can teleport outside instead of just to the border world, which is Zen. It's like playing Half-Life 2. Well, there's no red leather, there's no RLD skip here, so yeah. There will be a skip that we will be skipping a bit after this chapter. Okay, so yeah, Rosenberg is going to talk his heart out here. So again, taking time to reload. Okay, I have the grenades. They're not going to be useful anymore. I mean, I could use. I think I'll try and use them, even though I have not ever done that. Okay, so right now the teleport is going to charge, and yeah, we have all the time in the water. There's like not much we can do right here to speed the process along, because the teleporter will start charging. Once it's charged, it will just trigger and we'll go in. So I just wanted to a quick note on how I began speedrunning this game. It was like my first Half-Life game that I started speedrunning, because, well, Blue Shift is my even though Blue Shift is considered as the expansion that Gearbox Software, who was the developer for expansions, they didn't like programming this, but I like this game just for the story, that you're not, you know, some goddamn action hero who goes in, kills the aliens. He just wants to get out, and he manages to get out. And also it shows like and it shows a little insight of how Black Mesa worked before the Resonance Cascade, and I like those touches. Okay, so now we are going into Zen. We are going to Zen. First things first, we need to find a satellite relay, right? Thankfully this is a Half-Life game, which means the path is pretty linear. Although we end up going around by the time we finish. Okay, so here I'm dropping my frame rate. I'm gonna glide along those walls to get higher speed. Oh yeah, also the speedometer is a part of an extension to the Half-Life games called Bunny Mod XT, which is an extension made by speedrunners for speedrunners, which has it has a lot of like stuff. Well, it has a lot of features tailored towards speedrunners. For example, that speedometer, and also if this run was legit, I could have showed you my loadless time, which also it keeps track of. It also helps. It also immensely helps making segmented runs. So I'm taking a specific route here, which is basically the fastest route you can take. Okay, so I think I'll be fine on the I should be fine on the grenades, because I'm gonna use one here, and I need 3 by the time I exit out. Okay, so here's a platforming segment, which we are gonna skip in the majority, like so, and just like that. So again, this is a segment which is I lost a jump there. That's alright. So this is another. Okay, I'm dropping frames. I mean, I'm dropping frames in game, but that's totally manageable. Also, just by doing this grenade jump, I just skip this segment, which would require which normally you would have to sit in a cutscene-ish segment. Okay, so here. If you saw a world record run, you could see that the world record does a grenade boost there. I am not going to do that because it never works for me. It has, like, there's a couple of factors that I never can seem to get right. So again, we are just speeding through here. Okay, so again, skipping through. Can you say unprepared? Okay, so we have reached the satellite relay. So we're gonna turn on the mains first. The mains are on. So we'll just grab some stuff. Okay, yeah, we should be fine on the grenades now. Okay, so now we have to set up the satellite relay. You do it like so. Almost got it. Okay. Nice. Okay, so I can't be too fast going in here because I have to make sure this guy spawns. And so he got crashed. I had to wait outside here because well, if he didn't spawn, I'd have to go outside and again lose some time. And also, I couldn't just jump in on those rocks as soon as they spawned, because if I did that, they would crush me, because the damage trigger is kind of extended in time. So yeah, now we are making our way out of Zen. This was a clean segment. I didn't get hit by a single head grab, which is fantastic. Okay, so now we are out of Zen. We are never going to come here again, and we are back in here. We have. Okay, so what's the deal now? We have set up the satellite relay, but the teleporter is apparently running on batteries, and we have to go charge the batteries so that we can teleport out. So we can teleport outside of the facility, because there's 4 people that we have to teleport. Ourselves, Dr. Rosenborg, and 2 other doctors, Walter and Simmons. So now Rosenberg is explaining that to us. And also they sent a team to recharge the batteries, but they haven't heard from them since. And yeah, the part where we charge the batteries is pretty infested with aliens and army. So again, drop in the frames so that Rosenberg will turn faster. Does teleporting still count as an escort quest? Well, it's an autoscroller, so sorta. There's no one you don't have to escort. There's like no danger. There's no immediate danger to them while you're teleporting. There will be damage to yourself. Okay, so we are moving into power struggle. This is a lengthy segment, casually. Pressing a button through a wall. Gonna kill this guy, take the armor. But we are going to skip the majority of it, but we are gonna also take a little detour. Okay, so we have triggered this cutscene, and triggering this cutscene makes it so that when we come down here, though, the soldiers will try to break open those doors. Okay, so I'm gonna position myself like so, and position my cursor in here so that basically next to those soldiers there are some explosive barrels, and by positioning myself like so, I can, like, there's a couple ways you can go about it. I like doing it like so. And it didn't work, obviously. Please. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna move through quickly. Okay, so we're gonna jump out here, Usually you couldn't. This thing we are you basically in a casual run you would have to raise that platform there to go in here, but we are not going to use that because we have explosives. So taking a detour here, gonna get ourselves some snarks. I got a 10, which is good for safety purposes. They all come in play shortly, so throwing a grenade here because the guys down there can do stuff to us, even though we are not going down there. Okay, so another boost, like so. Gonna kill this guy real quick. Because there was an invisible security guard. He would be visible if we did this segment normally, but now he wasn't, so I just yeeted a grenade at him so that he's not an obstacle. So we're gonna charge this battery, and while this is charging, I'm gonna do this. I have a little more armor than I would like, so I'm gonna take some intentional damage here. Okay, that's fine. Also gonna open this door. And the battery is ready up, so yeah, I have high frame rate, which means I can yeet this battery around. Gonna drop it here so that I can just, yeah, even with 100 frames, it still good. Flies around. Okay, so we are done with that segment, so now we can go back up, and we are gonna. So, just so you know, we just skipped like 2 maps and a puzzle, which obviously is a time save, and we are going to use those little motherfuckers to skip some more. Okay, so here's Rosenberg. We don't need him now. We're just gonna use those snacks to here. Okay, so here's a trigger, and here's a trigger as well. So yeah, we have. So if I was good on my aim with triggers, this glass should lift in a sec. Yeah. Okay, so I used those snarks to activate some triggers. The first trigger was to close the door. The first trigger was to close that door, and the second trigger was to start the teleporting segment. You can see that Rosenberg isn't actually in the room anymore because we were too fast, but we don't need him. We don't need him for the operation. Even though he's the brains of operation, we don't need him. He will be with us in spirit. Okay, so first of all, we have to turn this valve, crank this valve to raise the pressure. Also, safe loading to reset the animations of the That's how duping ammunition worked. And you can also use that to reset the attacking animation to buy yourself some more time. I was also doing that in the Zen segment. Okay, so now we are waiting for the battery to charge up, for the teleporter to charge up, and we are going to use those little boys to skip a segment. So I'm gonna show it. I'm gonna do it, and then I'll explain how it works. Okay, so I pressed as soon as the battery charged, and I was able to. I pressed this button to open the dumping locks and activate the teleport, and I threw a snark at a specific time, so it goes into the teleporter trigger. And the trigger activated before the scientist went in, which saves some time. But it will save a lot. Well, it just cuts down on the entire process. And I'm gonna do it again. Yeah, I'm also killing the snarks here because they can jump up here and damage me, and it's very important that I'm topped up on health here, because I am doing to do one final nade boost in a second. Oh boy, it's like 10 AM in my time, so I woke up like 2 hours ago, so I didn't have pretty good sleep, so. Still probably better than most of the NASA folk. That's probably better than most of the NASA folk right now. You know, the Canadian time zone and such. Okay, so we are done with the snarks. So now it's just us who have to teleport. if you're in Canada, then I'd recommend you go to sleep after this run, and so that you can be fully woke up and refreshed for the remainder of this weekend. Okay, so that wasn't good. I'll try this again. Okay, that would have been good. Ow. Oh Jesus, I'm going to choke this now, aren't I? Come on. Okay, got it. So now we are taking the teleporter, and this is so time's coming up real quick. So now we are gonna save load to break out of this frozen state, and now I'm going out. I'm going outside of the little teleporting box here, so that there's also a couple sequence teleports that we are going to skip just by going outside of the trigger. Save loading again to break out. And with that we have triggered the final trigger, and time is coming up in a sec. This was a pretty garbage run, gotta say, but still pretty good, not gonna lie. So yeah, we made it out of this facility, we jacked the car, and now we are going to leave, and the time is now. So what was my final time? Anyone knows? I guess I wasn't running timer locally after I loaded the save. Okay, anyway, this was Half-Life Blue Shift. This was definitely a game. This was definitely a run. 33:27. Oh, that would have been a PB a couple months back. But yeah, still, this was a pretty good run. That was Half-Life Blue Shift. I want to take my time and give a couple shoutouts. First of all, I want to shout out the Source Runs community, which is a community based around speedrunning Gold Source and Source games. I also want to also shout out to Malte and Muti, who are the top runners of the game right now. Also a shout out to Muti for finding the snark skip in the last bit. Also, I want to shout out MHMD for being the person who inspired me to get better at this game, because his run was so old and so crappy, and I just it was a mental it was a goal of mine for a long time. I want to also want to give a shout out to the Polish speedrunning community, because well, we are big, we are thriving, and we are, we have also our own events, and we there is a lot of us, and we also do various games. And also, if you're a Polish and didn't know there's a Polish speedrunning community, we have one, don't worry. I think that's all I was about to say. Thanks. I want to thank NASA for having me. Thanks to everyone who's watching, who's reading donations. And next up, I believe we have Finger Quick with Army Men. If you want to, so that's a run you should totally stay to watch. And also, if you liked what you see, you can also check me out at twitch.tv/Mr_Mary. I'm actively looking for a team to speedrun Team Fortress 2 Man vs Machine with. So if you want to do that, get into contact with me. Okay, that's all I have for you today. Again, thanks NASA for having me, and see you around.
Perfect. Doing my job for me right there. Was a great run. Was wonderful seeing you.
Oh yeah.
And take care.
Yeah.
Take some rest. Stay hydrated.
Yeah, will do.
Okay, yeah, as you said, Army Man, RTS, Finger Quick, and Gang. And we'll just throw it off to an intermission. Back in a bit with you.
We we aren't live anymore, are we? Or
Where once the tiny cottage stood, a mighty palace towards the wood. And there within the highest tower, the witch queen wields her mighty power. The rule of evil crawls the land, with ghosts and gargoyles close at hand. Her enemies destroyed this night, yet one remains to set things right. A pumpkin warrior, brave and good, the lesser father from the wood. So go now, swiftly climb the stair, and cut a lock of witch's hair. Seek out the cauldron back, and brew a spell to change things back. Then the hag will know defeat, and thy revenge will be complete. A pumpkin warrior, brave and good, the lesser father from the wood. So go now, swiftly climb the stair, and cut a lock of witch's hair.
All right, everyone, how are we all doing this wonderful morning, day, evening, night? I'm going to hit you with a bit of background on Save the Children, the charity we're supporting, and yeah, just go ahead. According to a Save the Children report released just this week, it was revealed that the most disadvantaged counties in the US are mostly communities of color, and nearly all are rural, poor, and concentrated in the South. Bottom-ranked counties are also the same areas that are being hit hardest by the effects of the coronavirus pandemic. The county rankings in the third US complement to the Global Childhood Report are based on 4 factors that cut childhood short: hunger, dropping out of school, teenage pregnancy, and early death due to poor health, accident, murder, or suicide. Among the more than 2,600 counties examined and ranked, over 90% of the bottom-ranked counties are rural, nearly 2/3 are in the South, and 3/4 contain non-white majority populations. Children living in bottom-ranked counties died rates up to 5 times of those of children in the highest-ranked counties in their state. They are also up to 3 times as likely to struggle with hunger, 14 times as likely to drop out of high school, and girls are 26 times more likely to get pregnant in their teens. The national findings also reveal that 1 in every 8 children across America experiences shockingly high rates of hunger, dropping out of school, teenage pregnancy, and/or child death. Save the Children is calling on America's policymakers at all levels of government to work together to robustly support children, regardless of where they live, craft strong child-centric policies, provide sufficient resources, and create an appropriate environment for relevant early childhood programs and interventions to flourish. We at NASA Marathon agree wholeheartedly with this message and hope that you will donate, if you can, if you're in the financial situation to do so. Just FYI, to help save the children, continue to pursue these goals. If you would like to learn more about these issues and how Save the Children is helping to further systematic change, you can read their report linked in chat. All right. Lots of stuff going on in the world. If you have any way of chipping in, helping make this world a better place, it's greatly appreciated. But most important, first of all, take care of yourselves. You count, you matter, and we want you to have a good time here. All right, and coming up in a bit, Army Man RTS, the campaign on Easy, done by Fingerquick. We'll be with you shortly.
18 years. That's about how long it takes for a kid to grow up. And a lot can change in that time. Since the year 2000, 30 million more people have fled their homes due to conflict, the most in history. But in that same time span, caring individuals and organizations like Save the Children have made positive change for children. 50 million more kids reached their 5th birthday, and 49 million more kids have healthy food. 94 million fewer kids were forced into harmful labor, and 115 million more kids are in school. 11 million fewer girls were forced to marry. 3 million fewer girls gave birth, and 12,000 fewer children were killed by violence. All this positive change, rippling from one childhood to the next. Imagine how many more lives we can change in our lifetime.
Alright, just as promised, we're gonna hit you with Army Man RTS, campaign mode easy. And I heard the bunch. They sound fun. They sound a little bit crazy. It is DGen hours. Yeah. Stay with us as we experience this wonderful and fun time together for the children. Indeed, Gundare, these are the best hours. It's always me who's up for them. These guys are making me intentionally wait. Doesn't do my anxiety any good. Okay, they should be in any second now.